Hey kids, here are 10 math problems, 4th grade level for today. The first one is find the sum. What does it mean when we find the sum? Sum is a math vocabulary word. It means we're adding two things together. So the first question is 4,649. 4,649 plus 7,783. When we add two numbers together, we make sure we line up the place value columns correctly, starting on the right side to make sure the ones are lined up, the tens are lined up, the hundreds are lined up, thousands are lined up, and so forth. 9 plus 3 is 12. Carry the 1. 8 plus 4 is also 12, plus the 1 is 13. 6 plus 7 is 13, plus 1 is 14. 4 plus 7 is 11, plus 1 is 12. Make sure you put your comma in there, the third place over, so that it helps us read 12,432. The next one, do your work ahead of time and just check your answers. And if you run into one you don't know how to do, then just pay attention to the video. Next one is find the difference. When we find the difference, we are subtracting. And that one is 7,282 minus 2,993. 2,993. Again, make sure your ones are lined up, your tens, your hundreds, and your thousands. And this is just a little comma to put in there to help you read your number correctly. 7,282, 2,993. 2 minus 3. Well, when you subtract, the big number needs to be on top, and 2 is smaller than 3, so you have to borrow from your neighbor. And this 2 becomes a 12. With 12 minus 3, you can do that. 12 minus 3 is 9. 7 minus 9, can't do that. 7 is smaller than 9. Got to borrow from a neighbor. So now we can do 17 minus 9. 17 minus 9 is 8. 1 minus 9. Can't do 1 minus 9. Got to borrow from a neighbor. That's 6. That's 11. 11 minus 9 is 2. 6 minus 2 is 4. Put in your comma to help you read the number. 4,289. You should have gotten 4,289. Number 3, find the product. When we multiply two numbers, we're looking for the product. You need to know these math vocabularies words. Sum means to add, difference means to subtract, and to multiply is when you're finding the product. 83 times 73. Let's do it the box method. So when we do the box method, we break up both the numbers. 83 is 80 plus 3. 73 is 70 plus 3. And then we find, for each box, we find the product of these two numbers. So 70 times 80. First you do 7 times 8 is 56. And you add the zeros. 70 times 3. Well, 7 times 3 is 21. Plus you add the 0. Three times 8. 8 times 3 is 24. Plus you add the 0. 3 times 3, 9. Then you add all these columns together. 5,600 plus 240 plus 210 plus 9. 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 9. 4 plus 1 is 5. There's nothing in this column, so it's just the 4 and the 1. Make sure your columns are lined up correctly. 6 plus 2 is 8. Plus 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 1 plus 5 is 6. So your answer is 6,059. Next one. It says 966 divided by 4. The question says find the quotient. So when it's finding the quotient, it's a division problem. And the way it's written, 966 divided by 4 equals, we don't do it that way. We put the 4 right here, and then we put it into the big number. The big number comes first, divided by the small number. When you write it like this, the small number is first, and then you put a little half square around 966. So we're going to divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. Repeat. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. So first we divide. 4 will go into 9 how many times? Well, 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. Oh, 12 is too much. So it'll only go in twice. 2. Now we multiply. 2 times 4 is 8. Then subtract. 9 minus 8 is 1. Then bring down the 6. How many times will 4 go into 16? Well, 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. Ding, 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 ding. We got this one right on the nose. 4 times 4 is exactly 16. So guess what? No remainder. But we have another number to bring down, so let's bring down the 6. So let's divide. 4 will go into 6 how many times? Well, 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Uh-oh, 8 is too much. So it only goes in once. 4 times 1 is 4. And then you subtract, and you have a 2 remainder. So the answer is 241, remainder 2. Because look, there's nothing left to bring down. So you have a remainder of 2. So what's the answer? 241, remainder 2. Number 5. Number 5 says, write the multiples of 5 that are less than 22. Let's see. 5 times 1 is 5. That's less than 22. 5 times 2 is 10. That's less than 22. 5 times 3 is 15. Less than 22. 5 times 4 is 20. Less than 22. 5 times 5, 25. Uh-oh. Meh. Not that one. So we have 5, 10, 15, and 20. All right, number 6 says write the number in standard form. Standard form is just regular form, common form. That means just the numbers. And if you read it, it says 891,336. 891,336. So this is what you should have written down. 891,336. Next question. How many vertices does this shape have? Vertices are where two lines make a point on a shape. So there's 1, 2, 3. 3. Number 8, it says, on St. Patrick's Day, each student was asked to bring in 6 green items to decorate the tables for a party. There were 18 students in the class. How many items were displayed on each of the 9 tables? This is a 2-part question. A lot of your story problems in 4th grade are 2 parts. So first, each of those kids, and there's 18 of them, brought in 6 green items. So let's see how many in all they brought in. 18 times 6. Each one brought in 6 things. You could add 6 18 times, or you could do multiplication. 8 times 6 is 48. Carry the 4, 48. 6 times 1 is 6, plus this little number up here makes 10. So they brought in 108 items. But that's not the end of the question. It says there's 9 tables. So how many green items are on each one? So we have 108 items, and we want to divide it between 9 tables. We want to make a smaller number because we know that if we have 108 items in all and we're putting a little bit on each table, it's going to make a smaller number. So we divide. Will 9 go into 1? No. Will 9 go into 10? Yes. Will it go in 9 times 1 is 9? Yes. Will it go in 2 times? 9 times 2 is 18. That's too big. So it only goes into 10 once. 1 times 9 is 9. Subtract. 10 minus 9 is 1. Bring down the 8. How many times will 9 go into 18? Well, 9 times 1 is 9. 9 times 2 is 18. Ding, 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 ding. Got it right on the number. Right on the nose. 2 times 9 is 18. No remainder. Exactly 12. There are 12 items on each table. Next question. Which fraction is greater? 4/5 or 5/6? 4/5 or 5/6? Which one's greater? That means bigger. We have 4/5 and 5/6. When we compare 2 fractions, we always have to make sure that the denominator, the bottom part, is the same number. This is the numerator, this is the denominator. In order to make both of these numbers the same, we have to multiply this number by that number. We have to multiply that number by this number. So we're going to take 4/5 and multiply it by 6. You always do the same to the top and the bottom. And we have to take this number and multiply it by 5. So 4 times 6 is 24. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 5 is 25. 6 times 5 is 30. Look, now the denominators are the same. Now we have 30 pieces, and we're comparing 24 out of 30 and 25 out of 30. 25 out of 30 is more than 24 out of 30. So this number, 4/5, is less than 5/6. In other words, 5/6 is greater than 4/5. You should have written 5/6. Last question, number 10. It says, the perimeter of the quadrilateral is 48 feet. Find the missing length. A quadrilateral is a type of shape. Quad is a prefix to a word, and we remember that we can break down words sometimes to understand what they mean. When a quad is put on a word, it means 4. So a shape that's called a quadrilateral actually is a four-sided shape. We kind of can guess or infer what a word means if we know what the pieces of the word mean. Perimeter is the distance around an object. Sometimes we find the area and sometimes we find the perimeter. This one says that one side is 19 and that the whole perimeter is 48. On this quadrilateral, we can see that this side is 19 and this side is 19 also, because on a quadrilateral that's a rectangle, if this side is the length of 19, then this side is also the length of 19. And it says feet. And so these two are going to be the same number too, but we don't know what they are yet. But we know the total, this plus this plus this plus this, when we find the perimeter, we are adding side plus side plus side plus side. So we know that the perimeter for this shape is going to be 19 plus 19 plus question mark plus question mark. Well, what is 19 plus 19? 38. And what did we say the total was? 48 plus question mark, side plus side. Well, if 38 of those feet is that, and it's 48 altogether, how many is remaining? Well, 48 minus 38 is 10. So the 10 is equal to a side plus a side. What two numbers add together to equal 10? Well, 5 plus 5 equals 10. So this can be 5 and 5. 5 feet and 5 feet. 19 plus 19 plus 5 plus 5 equals 48. And that's how I figured it out. All right, kids, I hope you had fun.